Welcome back to my channel, Talks with Loveline. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing something very interesting: addiction. So yes, I know whenever we hear addiction or somebody brings up addiction, our minds first run up to drugs or drinking or smoking, weed and all that. Well, people can be addicted to a whole lot of stuff that is really not drugs or what we think it to be. People can be addicted to games, people can be addicted to television, people can be addicted to their phone, people can be addicted to social media. As light as it may seem, people can be addicted to social media. Yes, people can be addicted to so many things. People can be addicted to work, people can be addicted to sex, people can be addicted to masturbating. What have I not said? There are so many things people can be addicted to. So it is not just limited to drugs and drinking alcohol or smoking and all this stuff. It is not just limited to that. There are so many things, there are so many addictions that people are battling with. So with that being said, let's just talk about a very shallow meaning of addiction. So addiction is a condition. Please, let's know that it's a condition where a person becomes psychologically, note that psychologically or physically dependent on a behavior or a substance, even if or even when they know that it causes them harm. And like I said earlier, it can be drugs, it can be social media, it can be food. I did not mention food. People can be addicted to food, yes. And then there are a whole lot of things that people can be addicted to. So when it comes to addiction, there are so many causes of it. I mean, there must be something that leads to the addiction. So number one is brain chemistry. There is something that happens in our brain and hormones and all when let me say for instance, you're somebody that loves watching social media, maybe TikTok, and you like scrolling through TikTok, and then your brain releases this dopamine, which gives you this relaxation, this happiness within you. You feel so good watching it and all, and you keep scrolling. 1 hour gone, 2 hours gone, 3 hours gone. You're still there, scrolling on TikTok, learning nothing, doing nothing, and at that moment, it is not yet an addiction. You get, let's just say you just started it. It is not yet an addiction. Now, because of the way you feel, because of the way it makes you feel very happy and relaxed, you see yourself every single time you're wanting to go there. When you're busy, you just want to rush everything so that you go back to TikTok. When you're supposed to do something, you procrastinate because you're on TikTok. When you're supposed to do, and you see you're gradually, you're becoming addicted to it. Another cause, it can be trauma, it can be stress. Like I said, still the same hormone. When you're stressed and you just want to relax, and then this is the only thing that gets you relaxed. Maybe gaming, playing games, and then before you know it, you're just trying to relax. So, and you see that this thing is fun, it's giving you this feeling of I don't want to leave it. Then you will stay on that game for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. The next day, the same thing. Eventually, it will turn out that you can't go a day without playing game, because that was your solution to your stress or your trauma or the anxiety you were feeling. That was the only solution you had. Maybe television, maybe food. Like I said, people can be addicted to food. Before you know it, you just want to eat. You are not feeling hungry, you just want to eat. Like nothing is wrong with you. You just want to eat. And when you don't eat, it's like they've taken something out from you. It's just like these people that, they smoke. They smoke all this weed and all these hard drugs. I've heard so many of them say, oh, if they never smoke this and they not go feature way. They got, they have to, in order to feel good, so that all their body system will be opened and then they can eat very well. Now it's because they've been addicted to that. Same people that once they wake up in the morning, that's their water, that's their breakfast, that's the first thing they are taking. After eating, they are going back to it. Like they can't go days without it. That's how bad it is. Now, leaving the drugs on aside, because that one is a known addiction that everybody knows about, then the gaming, the television, the masturbating, the sex that people are becoming addicted to, the whole, name it, food, social media, internet that people are becoming addicted to. Like you find out that, oh, you can't go a day without going to this place. You're already addicted to watching movies. I can't go a day without seeing a movie. It's not possible. I must watch film. Like that is not a good addiction at all. Another thing that can cause it is peer pressure. Yes, peer pressure is one of the major causes. I could remember then in secondary school. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I could remember then in secondary school, some of my classmates then, after school, normally it's after school now. After school, they will go to the game house and they'll play game. School closes maybe around 3, 4, and they're reaching their homes around 6, 7 because they went to play game. And playing the game, coming to class next day to discuss what they did, how they won this other person, their opponent, how they did this and all. Like that though. From after school, it started encroaching into school time. They leave classes to go and play game. And then after that, like, that is how it grows. Before you know it, you like, this is not good for me, but I just have to do it to feel good. Before you know it, they start missing school. Why? Because they are going to game house. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. Your pair in this life, your friends, the friends you keep around you should matter a lot, because some of them that were not into it, because they started hanging out with this person or this set of people, they started doing the same thing and acting the same way, missing classes and missing school just to go and play game. They had I don't know, maybe they are better now, but then they had already become addicted to it. See, another thing that matters, that causes rather this whole addiction to different stuffs, is environment. Yes, environment matters a lot. That is why till tomorrow I will still thank God for the way my parents brought us up, environment and upbringing. In as much as we did not grow up in the best environment, we were brought up right in the house. Like, my dad will legit punish us when he sees us outside, especially doing nothing, playing. I mean, we were meant to play, but then he will ask you, is the parlor not big enough for you to play? Is your room not big enough for you to play? What are you doing downstairs? You get, it's now that I'm still growing though, but it's now that I'm grown to some certain age, or to some certain extent, I can understand what he was doing then. Because the environment, the society now, is nothing to write home about. Trust me. Because in the area I grew up, if you're going to train your children there and you're just leaving them to go out and do whatever they like, the environment will convert them to be like them. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Okay, I grew up in an area where you see, all these talks, stouts, smoking, drinking, and all. And it takes the grace of God and good parental upbringing to hold your child. One of the ways environment can cause this addiction is when you leave your child. Maybe you're not that strict, or you don't want to, I just want to leave him or her to be herself or to be himself, and you allow your child mingle with these people. They are going to teach them something that is very bad. Most of these people you see out there, smoking, drinking, becoming addicted to, this kind of lifestyle, it's not because they really want to, or it's not because that's how their parents are. No, it's because of the environment they find themselves. It's because of the environment they found themselves. And if their upbringing too is not right, it's going to affect them. You see, environment and upbringing works hand in hand in causing addiction. Because tell me why you're leaving your child of 13, 14. She's not a teenager, so she can. I still thank God for my upbringing until tomorrow. I still thank God for the way I was brought up. Even if it was very strict and annoying then. Like, it was really annoying then. Like, you could literally think that, okay, we are being maltreated in the house. But now I'm seeing the whole intentionality towards that kind of upbringing. And trust me, that's the best. Okay? So these are some of the few causes: trauma, anxiety. When you want to heal from trauma, from a traumatic event, you have to, sometimes you get addicted to some kind of things while trying to come out from a trauma. And then environment, upbringing, peer group, stress, and some medication can get one addicted to that drug. How will I put it? Take for instance, okay, let me say this: a person involved in an accident, a victim of an accident, in his healing process, he has to be put or placed on this particular medication that relieves pain. And without that medication, he feels severe pain. I'm telling you, in no time, that patient is going to get addicted to that medication. He or she will feel like, oh, without this particular drug, I can't live. You get, without this, I won't be able to move well. I won't be. Even when the doctor will tell the patient, okay, discontinue with this medication. No, their body system is already addicted to that. They are already addicted to that particular medication. So it will be very difficult for them to discontinue or to stop. And this addiction can cause a lot of damages for a person. That person will start struggling with his or her physical health, with his or her, mental health, because it is not just a physical problem, it's also a psychological problem. And if not taken care of, it's going to lead to something else greater than that addiction. The person might even be registered in an asylum, or a psychiatric hospital to get treated, because that's how bad it can be. It can also lead to financial damages. What do I mean by financial damages? You see that money you're supposed to save or use to invest, do something nice, use it to buy drugs, use it to buy drinks, because in your mind, in your head, you cannot do without it. You cannot go a day without it. That money you're supposed to use for something meaningful. Maybe you're buying data because data now is very expensive, and then using that data for something very meaningful, making it productive, at least learn something. You're just scrolling through social media just to laugh and have fun every single time. I'm not saying it is wrong to scroll through social media when you're stressed or when you just want to do it. Very okay. But then when you're addicted to it, it shows that, oh, I can't do without this social media. This is my only source of happiness. Wasting money on data. Just wasting money on data. And even that your source of happiness can also educate you, which it can if you are going to search for the educative ones and learn. Then no problem. At least I know I'm making gain out of this data I'm spending. You get? And then for those of my guys that like playing games, and you're literally spending money to buy players and guns and like physical cash. Physical cash. It's well, oh, that money we can use it for investment. Use it to do something productive, something useful, rather than spending like that on something that will not benefit you at the end of the day. If it was benefiting you, okay, no problem. At least you're getting something out of it. But it is not. And you're wasting your resources, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money and your energy being addicted to something that will not give you anything. Anyway, I hope we are learning, oh, because this room is open to learning. So I hope we are all learning. But the good news is, in as much as there is addiction, there is a way to recover from it. There's a way to pull out of it. There are ways to pull out of it. You see that addiction, you know you are addicted to something. I might not have mentioned it, but you know you're addicted to this particular thing. There is a way to recover from it. First of all, you have to identify the problem. You have to identify and acknowledge. It is one thing to identify, is another thing to acknowledge. I might identify that, okay, I have this problem of scrolling through social media. Then I have to acknowledge that it is a problem for me and it is not helping me grow, or it is not building me. I'm not learning anything from it. Like, it's not giving any productivity. You have to acknowledge that fact first. You have to see it that this thing really no dey pay. Oh. You get, this stuff is really not paying. No. You get. So you have to acknowledge it. You have to identify and acknowledge it first of all. Secondly, you have to start seeking help. You have to start, once I acknowledge this problem, you have to start seeking help, whether medical help, because some people's addiction might be related to that. So you have to seek help medically. If it's a therapy section, a counseling section, if it is to go into rehab, it's very good. Some people see that as an embarrassment or something, but it is for your own self growth and mental growth. If you can go into rehab, it's very okay. There are support groups that are created where people will sit down, gather together. This one will share his problem, discuss it. These are things that can help you stop your addiction. Therapy, medical help, medical assistance, counsel, rehab, support group. These things are very good. And then talk to someone, which is part of the therapy and the counsel. Talk to someone. It must not necessarily be a therapist. Yes, it must not necessarily be a counselor. You can talk to your friend. Oh, babe, I've been struggling with this stuff. Oh, I've been struggling with social media. I've been struggling with this game. I can't seem to stop. Like, I don't know what's wrong. Every time it keeps dragging me, it keeps calling me. You talk to somebody. Just talk. And if you're the type that is struggling with masturbation or sex, you're addicted to masturbating, you're addicted to having sex, there are people, I'm telling you, there are people that cannot go a day without having sex. Like, you can't go a day without sleeping with somebody. That is a very big problem. Honestly, that's a very big problem. But the good news is, there is always a good news. Oh, you can work it out. You can work it out. That is what is actually giving me joy, because I know that so many of you out there are going to be saved from these addictions, especially masturbating and sex, since it is amongst the youths. Okay, first of all, you have to pray. The both of them. You have to pray, like, you have to make it very intentional. Your prayer has to be very intentional. And it is not just about praying. You cannot just pray, finish, and you still go and carry that stuff that trigger it and start looking at it. If you know that it is scrolling through social media, and when you start seeing all these girls, all these baddies, and all, it triggers it, you stop. If it is watching porn, you stop entirely. Just stop. I don't know how you will do it. If it is the social media, you can delete the app. If it is porn, if you can go phone fasting, yes, there is phone fast. I know we don't know about that, but there is phone fast. If you can go phone fast for a month, 2 months, that would be good. Probably use a button phone. Use a button phone to make your calls. And then keep your Android. Why going on that fast? You're intentional with your prayer. You're building up your self-control. You're building up your self-discipline. You see these two things I mentioned, self-control and self-discipline, very important. Because you cannot just rely on prayer. Prayer will do what prayer will do. God will do what he will do. But you as a person, you will still do what you can do, which is being disciplined. Like, I have decided to do this. I have to be determined to keep or to stick to it. I have to build up my self-control so that because you will still go back to your phone, you will still go back to social media, and you will still see these stuff. You get? So I have to build up my self-control so that whenever I see these stuff, I'm not moved, or I scroll up immediately. I'm not tempted to stay and keep to keep watching or whatever. You get? Your self-discipline has to matter. Your self-discipline has to matter. I saw, this stuff is very bad that I saw on social media, that a nursing mother was in a bus with her baby, a public bus, and she was breastfeeding her baby. And there was a man. People would not believe, there was a man, elderly man, not that elderly anyway, but an elderly man in that bus sitting down there. This woman was nursing her child, and this man was already masturbating. He was already masturbating. Why? You were watching her, a nursing mother. That is why, if you can't control it, if you can't, not even control, if you can't kill it, because that's a very bad spirit, if you can't kill it and do away with it in this your youthful age, it will be very difficult at old age. It will be very, 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 very difficult at old age. That's why you hear of elderly men that are into children. Like, what the heck is that? What the heck is that? That's why you hear of rape and all the likes, because it wasn't controlled. So you're going to be doing yourself good and doing the society good if you start controlling it now. Not even controlling it. Kill that spirit. Kill it. Do away with it. Trust me, you can't do it on your own. No. That's why you need God. That's why I'm telling you, you have to be prayerful. You have to pray first. Okay? So, yeah, I think I've mentioned some of the recovery ways. I've mentioned seeking help, therapy section, counseling section, rehab. I've mentioned identifying the problem. Yes, you have to identify what causes it. You have to acknowledge that this is what causes it. You have to identify the triggers. Okay, you have to identify the triggers. What's triggering it? What's the cause of this thing? Is it whenever I'm around this person, I feel like I have to do this? Or is it, identify it and start working towards avoiding whatsoever triggers it or causes it? Okay, then talk to someone. Talk to someone. Always talk to someone. Always talk to someone. It might be your friend, because when it comes to this addiction, many of us would not like to talk about it with our parents, our mom or our dad, because African parents and their exaggerations most times. Then you have a friend you can lean on. You talk. Okay? Above all, pray. No matter the addiction you're going through, don't look at any addiction like, oh, it's a small thing, I can work it out. It might be deeper than you're just looking at it. It might be deeper than it's seen. So you have to pray. Whether it is game or you might just say it's just game now. If I just decide that, you have to pray, because personally, there is a spirit to everything. I said personally for a reason. There is a spirit to everything, whether good or bad. There's a spirit to it. So you have to pray. Whether it is social media, whether it is food, whether whatsoever it is, you have to pray. Whether it is, drugs, you have to pray, seek help, talk to somebody, do the necessary things you have to do. Okay? Build coping mechanisms. If you know that this one will distract you from this, you continue with this one. But that does not mean you should get addicted to this. Maybe gaming will distract me from scrolling on social media. I will not focus on game. I will get addicted to it. There are good addictions. I mean, you can get addicted to God. The best addiction ever. You can get addicted to God. You can get addicted to the Holy Spirit. You can get addicted to your Bible. Study your Bible, okay, and help yourself. Study your Bible. Pray. Seek help. It can be from the pastor, whatever. Just do that, okay? And I'm hoping to hear testimonies or to see somebody is better out there, because I know every one of us is struggling with one thing or the other, whether it is addiction or whatever it is. I know we are all dealing with something that we want to come out of, and hopefully we are coming out of it. Be it as addiction, anxiety, depression, fear, whatsoever, we are coming out of it strong and better. So with that being said, don't forget that I'll be answering our questions on the last Saturday of this month, which is next week. So expect it. Be ready for your answers, okay? And the ground is still open to ask questions. My Facebook, my IG, my TikTok, even here on YouTube comment section. You are free to drop your questions. And I think my last video was unpopular opinions. You can still go there and drop your unpopular opinions, because I'm coming back for a part 2 of that video. So with that being said, don't forget to drop a like, comment. I want to see your comments. I want to see how it touched you. I want to see your questions. I want to hear your own thoughts, your own opinion about addiction. I want to see if it had happened to somebody before, how the person coped with it. If you have any person or you've been through it before, now you're better. Share your coping mechanism. You don't know who you might be helping out there. You don't know the life you're saving out there. Share your coping mechanism on the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss out on these videos. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.